This is Kayla Tru, and welcome back to Tru News. It's time for our segment, Discussions with Scientists. Today we'll be joined by 4 experts of the different seasons, but before that we must learn how seasons occur. With us today is the amazing expert in earth science, Alyssa May. Thank you, Kayla, thank you. So please, Alyssa, explain to us how seasons occur. Well, we all know that the Earth goes around in its egg-shaped orbit, taking 1 year to complete it. Over the course of the year, everywhere except equator regions experience 4 different seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. The changing seasons happen because of the varying amounts of sunlight that reaches Earth.
So what makes the seasons change? Wouldn't the seasons be the same around the world because everywhere is getting the same amount of sunlight?
Well, Kayla, this line through Earth shows the axis. This is an imaginary line, of course, but it exists in the tilt of Earth. The tilt is to the North Star, so to the left, and it's about 23.5 degrees. As Earth rotates around the Sun, the tilt makes varying weather in different parts of the world.
I see, Alyssa, but how does that vary the seasons in different hemispheres?
Because through the year, either the northern or the southern hemisphere is pointing at the sun. Because of the axis, it's winter in the northern hemisphere, it is summer in the southern hemisphere.
Fascinating.
It truly is, Kayla.
Thank you, Alyssa, for your time. Hoping to see you again for this
My
segment.
pleasure. Next up, we'll talk to experts around the world about the 4 specific seasons. See you after this short break. Welcome back to Tru News and our segment, Discussions with Scientists. We'll resume our talk about seasons with the world-renowned expert in the season winter, Marcy Periwinkle.
Thank you for letting me be on your show.
Thank you for taking out some time from your busy schedule to talk with us today, Marcy. So please inform us about the season winter.
Love to.
Winter happens in the northern hemisphere from December to March. Why? Well, this is when the North Pole is tilted away from the sun. On December 21st is the greatest tilt the North Pole will be from the sun. This is also the winter solstice. It's the beginning of winter and the shortest day of the year because it gets less sun resulting from the tilt of the axis. On January 2nd, it's a perihelion. This is the time when the Earth is the closest to the sun because the orbit is elliptical. The Earth is 147,600,000 kilometers away from the sun during the perihelion, when it's normally 150 million kilometers away from the sun.
Marcy, does the perihelion play a part in the seasons, and does it make the temperature on Earth rise?
No, actually. Usually the Earth is colder at that time and does not play any part in the seasons.
Really? That's very interesting.
Yes, now let's cover the other half of Earth, the other hemisphere. The southern hemisphere experiences seasons opposite from the northern. Early explained by the amazing scientist Alyssa May, this all happens because of the leftward tilt of the Earth's axis. So when the southern hemisphere is experiencing winter through June and August, the northern hemisphere is experiencing summer. The winter solstice in the southern hemisphere is June 21st, and that is when the tilt is farthest away from the sun. I think that wraps up a quick summary on winter. Thank you, Marcy. And if anybody wants to learn more about winter, please visit Marcy's website, The Elf Expert. Thank you, Kayla. Next with us is the fairy Stella Dust, an expert in the season spring.
Thank you, Kayla.
So let's jump into the very interesting season, spring. Coming after winter, spring starts on March 21st and lasts till June 20th in the Northern Hemisphere. In the Southern Hemisphere, it starts on September 21st and lasts till December 20th. The fascinating thing about spring is that the axis tilt does not heavily affect the temperature, weather, or how much a place gets sun. On the spring equinox, the Earth is in line with the sun. This is the beginning of spring for either north or south. The axis tilt does not make either hemisphere face toward or away from the sun.
So what happens during the equinox, Stella?
I was about to answer that, Kayla. Equinoxes are when the whole world experiences the same day and night cycle being of equal length. Wow, very interesting.
Yes, that's why I'm studying it.
We'll be right back to talk to the experts in summer and fall right after this very short break. Welcome back to True News, and let's jump right back into our segment, Discussions with Scientists. Here with us now is the renowned expert in the season summer and Princess Daisy Sun. Oh, why, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this segment.
Take it away, Princess Daisy. Let's start off at the beginning of summer, my birthday, June 21st. While in the Northern Hemisphere, over in the Southern Hemisphere, summer starts on December 21st, my sister's birthday. These are the summer solstice, where the North Pole or South Pole is at its maximum tilt toward the sun. They're the longest days in the year because they have more sunlight hitting them. Around July 4th, the Earth is the farthest away from the sun, called aphelion, at a distance of 152,400,000 kilometers away from the sun. Summer comes to a close on the 20th of September, or the 20th of March for the Southern Hemisphere. Sadly, then, fall starts.
Interesting.
Very, but you know what's more interesting? My crown collection. I would love to, but it's time for Hazel Leaf's explanation of the season fall.
But wait.
Welcome, Hazel.
Hello, Mrs. Tru.
Please tell us about the season fall or autumn.
Okay, I would love to. In late September, neither hemisphere is facing toward the sun. The beginning of autumn is like the beginning of spring. Earth comes to a point of no tilt toward or away from the sun. This point is called the autumnal equinox. It occurs around September 21st. This is the beginning of autumn. Once again, each hemisphere has the same amount of daylight and moonlight, and the sun's rays strike the equator directly. The day and night cycle is more equal lengths. Autumn ends on December 20th. Let's now talk about the southern hemisphere. The autumnal equinox is March 21st. It ends on June 20th.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
Thank you for being on our segment.
Thank you for having me as a guest. Seasons are truly fascinating. Today, in this short time, we learned about the different seasons and how they occur. Thank you for joining us in this segment, Discussions with Scientists, and stick with us after this break to learn about a fascinating story about an orca, a rabbit, and a whole lot of crackers.